The Buffalo Bills have locked up the 2 seed in the 2024 playoffs, and now they get to travel to New England for a kind of Week 18 bye before they make their 2024 Super Bowl run. My name is Tyler, here with my brother Ryan, and we're going to break down this Week 18 matchup between the Bills and Patriots, and potentially even to talk a little bit about what Ryan thinks the Patriots should do if they end up with the first overall pick. But before we get into that, if you like the content that we put out, be sure to subscribe to the Tracy Take, tackle that bell to get notified when new videos come out, and leave a like and a comment. Let us know who you think will win and why. Ryan, as I said, not really too much, I think, really to talk about here when it comes to the playoff implications for this game. The Bills are locked in
there
the
are
2
none.
seed. Yeah, there are none. Well, the biggest implication, honestly, is going to be your Patriots, which we'll talk about here in a second. But Bills, dominant win over Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets, 40 points. Ironically, the exact amount of points you gave up to the Chargers last week. So just want to throw that out there. But this is going to be very interesting because I think the Patriots, you guys, it's amazing just the polarization between your guys' games against the Bills in Week 16 versus then the performance that we saw in Week 17. Like absolutely, like total opposite. Like I was expecting maybe they put up a fight against the Chargers, and what's going to be interesting here with the Bills, they're probably going to be resting a lot of guys. Wouldn't be surprised if Josh Allen doesn't play. Khalil Shakur, James Cook, like a lot of these guys are probably going to be healthy scratches, and so I think it's going to be a good opportunity. I think for your Patriots team to kind of like, hey, let's run it back, all our starters. Let's see if we can get some more film here going into the next season. I will say caveat. Christian Gonzalez probably will not play. I think he left the game with a concussion. So they're probably just going to just leave him out in general. No reason to risk putting him in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of one of those things. If he clears protocol, like it's not like then he'll play. Like if he doesn't, if he is not in concussion protocol, he'll play. But I don't think they're going to force the issue. Like I remember Drake Maye got a concussion against the Jets, and then they had a game then like a week later, and so like it was kind of that was like the big talk of the week. Like, will Drake Maye clear concussion protocol? Especially, it didn't seem like a major concussion. Like he got hit in the head, and then it like he played a few more snaps, and then got taken out by they radioed down from upstairs. So that'll be a situation to monitor, but I don't think it's going to be like if he doesn't play, it's not a big issue. So when it comes to this game, I think we already know everything that we need to know about this Patriots team. They're not well coached. They don't have a lot of talent. They make a lot of stupid mistakes. They just are not a good football team. And you could very easily make an argument they're probably the worst football team in the NFL. And especially in terms of like roster, they're probably the worst team in the league. And the Bills, even though they're playing their backups, I still think this will be a contested matchup. I think part of the reason why the Patriots played so well was I think the Bills just didn't show up in that game. It was 6 degrees. It was freezing cold. The Bills had some uncharacteristic drops that I don't think that they usually have in that Week 16 matchup. And so for me, I just think looking at it, this is still going to be a highly contested matchup. Just because, one, the Bills can't sit everybody. There are some players that are going to have to play, especially I think on the defensive side of the ball. But then you also look at it. I think the Patriots have one of the worst rushing defenses in the league. They're going to get a heavy dose of Ray Davis and I forget who their other running back is at the moment. But
I'll look it up here.
They'll get a heavy dose of that.
Ty Johnson.
Yeah, Ty Johnson, who actually killed them in that Week 16 matchup. So for me, like, it doesn't really change a whole lot that the Bills are sitting their starters. I still think it's going to be a contested matchup, which just says a lot about this Patriots team and how not good they are. But go ahead.
Well, I was going to say one of the things too, especially if Gonzalez is not able to go. One of the things that you guys were able to do was kind of really lean on Gonzalez and like the secondary as well, because the secondary played well and provide a lot of heavy blitzes and a lot of pressure. And even if it's Mitchell Trubisky, without having Christian Gonzalez out there, I think it's going to be tough for your team to try and keep this competitive. Let me rephrase that. I think it will be competitive. It'll be New England at home, but it'll still be a tough matchup for you guys.
Yeah. Oh no, and I agree. I also think too, like Marcus Jones had a really good game against Khalil Shakir in that Week 16 matchup. He looked like trash against the Chargers in Week 17. Like and Lad McConkey is a better receiver than Khalil Shakir, but like I thought that they would be able to use him in a similar way against him, and like he looked slow, had a really um rough showing there in week 17. So I'm curious if that'll play another role here. But if Christian Gonzalez is not able to go, yes, I think it'll be a pretty rough day for the Patriots. So kind of getting into offseason implications because for the Bills, they're going to go and host either the Chargers or the Steelers, I believe.
The
Um,
Bills, no, it'll be the Broncos or the Bengals.
oh, that's
Yeah,
right, because they'll have
yeah,
the 7. Yeah,
yeah,
the
yeah. The
Broncos or the
7 seed.
Bengals.
Yeah,
And so for me, I think kind of looking at like the Patriots offseason, right now they hold the number 1 pick. I really hope they don't blow the number 1 pick on a Mitchell Trubisky starting Bills team to get the win for morale. Not that I'm like I want the Patriots to win. I want them to establish a culture of winning, but like I want them to win against teams that are trying, not teams that are well, like we just don't want our star players to get hurt, so you guys can go play. Like kind of
yeah.
game. Uh I think there need to be major changes in this offseason. I don't I'm on the fence about if Gerard Mayo should come back. My only thing is if you bring Gerard Mayo back and you fire both the coordinators, Gerard Mayo has 1 season left and like to prove it. And so what good coordinators are you going to be able to bring in when you have a lame duck head coach who already looks like he has a foot halfway out the door in terms of his job security. And so like you're not going to get anybody good that I think is going to be able to come in there. So I like personally I think they should just restart this whole thing. The other thing, their drafting and free agency moves have been awful. Outside of Drake Maye, which was kind of a layup. Like you were there
Yeah.
at 3, he was the third best
It-
quarterback. It,
yeah, if Drake May was taken at 2, you were going to take Jaden Daniels. Like it was
yeah,
not going to be like it. It was kind of handed to you. Yeah.
yeah, and like Jalen Polk has had one of the worst rookie seasons I've ever seen from a wide receiver. Caden Wallace has been injured. You don't know what you have there. Javon Baker has looked awful. Layden Robinson has looked awful. You drafted a backup quarterback, a backup corner, like late on day 3, who I'm not expecting anything from, but like they also have not contributed in the slightest. Um, and like Jaheim Bell has gotten some rotational snaps here or there. I don't even know if he has a catch on the season. And so
Hmm.
like it's just you've got nothing. Your free agency moves, the only defense that you can have is, well, who else would you have wanted them to sign? Like they tried to get Calvin Ridley and he wasn't interested in coming. Like there are other moves that like I think they could have made that they just like flat out didn't. And so I think you need to take a nice hard look at both the coaching staff and the front office and uh potentially restart this whole thing. Um
Yeah.
so that's we'll see kind of going into this offseason what changes are made, but I expect a lot of changes from this Patriots organization.
I would. I mean, because you have something there in Drake May, you have something there in Christian Gonzalez. There are some other just like interesting pieces. You have the cap space. You want to bring somebody in there who I think has been there and done that. I know a guy I think that would be very interesting. Like would be if you bring in like a Pete Carroll. Like I heard he had some interest in the Chicago job. I think that would be interesting to bring him into New England.
Pete Carroll was already the head coach in New England, right?
No, a
He
long
was the
time
head
ago.
Yeah, he was the head coach in the 90s. But like
Yeah.
he was the head coach between Parcells and Belichick.
Well, let's get a reunion going. I did not know that actually. That's pretty
Yeah.
interesting. But I'm just throwing that name out there. I know Vrabel's a popular name out there within the Patriots realm. I think there's a lot of interesting guys that are coming out there. I think with the setup that you guys have now, I would think an experienced head coach who's been there before would be the best guy. So that's why to me,
Yeah.
Carroll came first. Vrabel came to my head also, and so just because with all the cap space, you're right. Like you don't want to make the wrong moves, and so, but it's going to be interesting with this game. When it comes to the predictions, I'm kind of fascinated on like what to do, like, especially too like if you're in pick'em leagues. This is like the hardest kind of game. The only other type of game that's really hard are like when the two stinkers are playing against one another, like where it could go either way. But I think for this one, what would you like to do? Because I'll do the opposite. I know we have the season long competition.
I'm
And
going with Buffalo.
you're going
I,
with Buffalo.
this New England defense offers nothing. So even with Mitch Trubisky back there, like he's going to have 4 seconds to sit back there and decide which wide receiver he wants to throw it to. Christian Gonzalez is out, so no one in the secondary is going to be uh like there's no one elite in this secondary. I really feel like this Bills team is going to come in here and put a bit of a beat down with their backups on this Patriots team. And not that I want that to happen, but frankly, I think it would be the best thing for the Bills backups to come in here, because I think that would be the straw that broke the camel's back on if Drake Maye should come back or not.
Yeah, yeah, that's almost a good point. Like I want the Bills JV team to come in here and if we're talking about that specifically, be like for them to come in here and beat us and we look unprepared, like that would be I think that would
Yeah,
be huge. So, but yeah, I'll go with New England then, just in our competition. I mean, because really this game does not matter at all.
yeah,
Just in the grand scheme of things. Outside of that, I will say to look on the positive side, even if New England does win, the worst I think they could fall down to, according to Tankathon,
is
is
5.
fourth. They would fall down to 4, because everybody else would fall. And with their strength of schedule, it's
Oh, okay.
worse than Jacksonville. So, and
Okay.
that being said, too, you would still be in a good spot. Like, let's say hypothetically, uh, Tennessee, Cleveland, and Giants also all lose. Those 3 teams are going to be fighting for quarterback. So, who knows what can kind of happen from there. You could still get a Travis Hunter. You could still go get the best player in the like probably one of the better players in the draft. Like if you're looking at just best player available, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Not really in this game. I think a lot of people could care less about this game. But what happens to the Patriots this offseason?
Yeah, I think that's going to be like the Bills are resting, so like they're just getting ready for wild card weekend. But yeah, what happens this offseason? Do the Patriots get the number 1 pick, or are they picking number 4 overall? So it'll be interesting. Let's go ahead. Let's wrap up this video here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. I would say leave a comment down below on what you think is going to happen at the result of this Bills Patriots game, but leave a comment down below on who you want to win and why, because I feel like that is more interesting than
Mm-hmm.
what is actually going to be the outcome of this game. So other than that, we will see you guys next time.